Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of Your Broker Admin. It's a bit of a longer one again this week, as I'm joined by Marcus Lowe, franchise owner of MoneyQuest Cheltenham, in the YBA Chat Room for an in-depth conversation about his broking journey, amongst some other things. I'm your host, Rob Cummings, and in addition to my guest chat, here's what else we have for you in the show this week. In Humpday Helpers, I share an article on some advanced broker engine workflow tips as provided by a number of experienced users. And finally, our regular reviews wrap up with outcomes from loan reviews completed during the week ending the 6th of June 2025. Thanks for joining me, and let's get the show started. In this week's Humpday Helper number 138, I share an article from Broker Engine on some tips from some experienced users about creating 7 advanced workflows by automating client communications, customizing mortgage broker workflows, and delivering a 5-star customer experience at scale. In summary, the 7 tips are: firstly, ask credit assessors what they want, then give it to them. Then at number 2, we have set up interview guide templates for lenders and products. At 3, it's use video invitations to boost loan reviews and reduce clawbacks. And number 4, automate referrer updates with custom workflows. Number 5, standardize naming conventions for convenience and compliance. Number 6, consistent client communication with Broker Engine's outbox. And finally, number 7, boost engagement with SMS from lead to post-settlement. You can access these tips in more detail by following this URL link: brokerengine.com.au/advanced-workflow-tips. Successful mortgage broking businesses tend to thrive when they focus on clients, not just being busy at work. The more you automate your work practices, the more time you free up for high-value activities. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another guest chat on Your Broker Admin. Here in the YBA Chat Room with me today is franchise owner of MoneyQuest Cheltenham, Marcus Lowe. So, Marcus, welcome to Your Broker Admin, and thanks for joining me today for a chat.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate you having me on today. Looking forward to it.
Long overdue. Now, before we get actually started, just mainly for the benefit of the listeners, I just want to quickly share some background history on yourself. You've been a mortgage broker with MoneyQuest since December 2014. And prior to that, you were a property coach and business owner of a digital print business for about 12 years. And just as an aside, we actually first started working together back in 2016. So amazing how time flies.
That it does, Rob. That it does.
Now, something I wanted to I mentioned a couple of things. Now, I know, like myself, you're an avid Hawks supporter, but we probably won't touch base on that today because it's not a great story at the moment. But mind you, we did get a win on Thursday night, a much needed one. So, but there is something that I did want to talk to you about today, something that most people probably don't know about you, and I didn't just till recently, is that you've taken up playing pickleball. I'm curious, how did that come about? And are there any significant achievements or failures of note so far?
Look, Rob, thank you. Yes, just taken up pickleball recently. It was certainly with the intention of a social outing. Certainly loving getting out and playing pickleball. It's competitive, social, great way to stay active. No significant achievements yet. Probably the only failures on my part is I'm certainly spending a little more time at the physio over the last.
Right. And is it true that I hear you're looking to upgrade your paddle?
Yes, definitely. I've got the bug, and looking at different paddles, and it's surprising that such a simple little sport, what I thought, could end up becoming quite costly in terms of a new paddle as we move forward.
Any chance we might see you on a TikTok video anytime in the future?
Highly unlikely on that one, Rob. Highly unlikely.
All right. Okay. So, okay, we might move on to, I guess, the actual reason you're here with me today, and that's to talk about your experiences as a mortgage broker. Um, what the first thing I wanted to sort of ask you is that what was your actually understanding of mortgage broking before you partnered up with MoneyQuest?
Yeah, look, Rob. Um, yeah, over the years, my wife and I had utilised the services of numerous mortgage brokers whilst I was in the print industry. And it had been something that, whilst I was in that industry, that I discussed with family and friends about looking into, um, but never took the plunge until after exiting and spending some time away
Yeah.
with the family until, then deciding to move into mortgage broking.
Okay. Yeah. And so, what was the actual motivation behind choosing to become a mortgage broker?
Yeah, look, Rob, as I said, sort of post the print industry, 12 years, I took the opportunity to travel with the family for just on 10 months around Australia. And coming back, we investigated moving into mortgage broking, which led me to meet with, a number of different aggregators, including Aussie, Mortgage Choice, and MoneyQuest. And I settled on MoneyQuest as it seemed the right fit for me, a smaller brokerage with a very family community feel about it, and felt that they were able to provide me the best outcome moving forward.
Yeah. Okay. Just to sort of delve a little bit deeper, sort of mean being a property coach and running a digital print business is completely divorced from being a mortgage broker or the finance. So, yeah, what was the sort of the catalyst to flip from what you were doing to into a completely different industry?
Yeah, look, Rob, when I was in the print game, my wife and I had bought, sold, renovated a number of properties, and it all hinged on one thing, which was the finance side of
Hmm.
things. And I did find that as we progressed by going through, as I said earlier, using a number of mortgage brokers, I felt like I was sort of more educating them as to what our requirements were.
Yeah.
So I felt post that era in my life that this would be a good opportunity to lean on some of that experience I'd had, and then look to empower that onto others.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. We deal with a lot of mortgage brokers who come from a background other than finance. So it's always interesting, or I'm intrigued to understand the motivation to change from that industry to come across to mortgage broking. So yeah, it's an interesting story with a lot of people.
Yeah, it certainly is, Rob, and certainly one that I've thoroughly enjoyed over the last decade.
Yeah, and obviously you've been successful. Since you become a mortgage broker, what are you seen as your biggest challenges to date, and how have you actually been able to overcome them?
Yeah, look, the ever-changing industry of mortgage broking. Um, as much as that was a challenge initially, it's sort of become the norm to me now.
Hmm.
It constantly is changing, as all brokers know and have come to understand. But I suppose as I've now progressed, it's into the business. It's nowadays it's more around the challenge of taking an application through the system, um, you know, effectively and uh, minimising the roadblocks that we have. And
Hmm.
I think
Yeah,
that's paramount now to being a successful brokerage.
yeah, I agree. And it's like any business. Would it be fair to say that you're always striving to improve processes for efficiency?
Yeah, that's without doubt correct, Rob. And back in 2020, after sort of being in the industry sort of 5 years, we moved across the software that's sort of well known now by a lot of people, Broker
Hmm.
Engine,
Yep.
and look to utilise that um, within the business. And obviously, over the last 5 years, that's become an integral part of our process and our efficiency within the business.
Yep. And what is it about Broker Engine that's had such a positive impact on your business? If you're enjoying the podcast, then feel free to jump onto podchaser.com, search Your Broker Admin, where you can leave a review, rate the podcast, or just simply follow us so you don't miss an episode.
Yeah, look, Rob, it's the ability to make changes to the system on the fly. Um, Software's ever evolving, all software packages are, but it's then the ability for us as end users being able to make changes quickly, efficiently, and then test and measure. And it's things such as, adding an SMS to a process, an email, a follow-up task, test it, measure it. If it's not in the right order, if it's a little bit clunky, being able to go back into the system efficiently, make those little tweaks, and then rerun the process again. And
Yeah.
that's probably been the most positive impact on the business is that ability to make those changes on the fly.
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, as you know, we use Broker Engine in our business, and I would concur with what you're saying is that ability to continually customize it because you have to whenever you need to, and and as I said, be able to test it live.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you're ever bringing on new staff with checklists, they're able to follow that bouncing ball to come into the business, follow a process, understand the process, and move forward. Also, too, is whether it's a new staff member or if we're looking to outsource as well.
Yeah, well, exactly true. And it doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't really matter where your support is, whether it's sitting in your office or sitting somewhere else. The principle's still the same, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as your business continued on and you got further on, would it be fair to say that in the early stages, all your focus was on about sourcing new clients and growing the business? And then at some point down the track, there came a realization that you needed to invest significant time in servicing those clients to ensure you not only retained them, but developed opportunities. So how did you end up dealing with that?
Yeah, look, certainly, Robert. As I said, with using Broker Engine, we're able to train our staff, but also outsource. So what we did is the business grew. We were able to outsource a very significant part of the business, which is our annual reviews, uh, to to your company, Rob, where
Mhm.
your team are able to log into our system, complete our annual reviews as and when required, and update us, update the client, and keep everyone in the loop.
And what can you sort of pinpoint or identify what that's actually done for your business? Setting up that formal review process?
It's certainly kept our clients updated. It's identified opportunities, be it for review with a client on a potential refinance, uh, a potential review of their portfolio to look at them reinvesting further, i.e., looking at a property purchase for an investment point of
Hmm.
view,
Yep.
or as well as those that we can catch early enough that might be looking to upgrade. So we can start that conversation a lot earlier with them than otherwise would have been seen.
Yeah, which is essentially what it's about as much as retaining the clients about trying to get new opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly your team are able to identify those opportunities for us. We're then on the phone dealing with the client and discussing that opportunity further. And it may be an opportunity that is risen today, but may not come to fruition for, you know, 2, 3, maybe even 6 months down the track. But we're able to be on the front foot with those opportunities that are created.
Yeah. And from a retention point of view, have you noticed any improvement or changes in your retention?
Yeah, look, absolutely. We've been using your services now for about 18 months on this part of the business, and the reality is we're seeing a dramatic decrease in the number of discharges on a monthly basis, and even on a quarterly basis now, they've dropped probably 30 to 35%.
Yeah, okay.
In terms of what we're seeing now. We're still seeing refinances and the likes that we're now doing, but we're just being able to control a lot more of that, and we're aware of what's now happening a lot more so than previously.
Would you have potentially implemented something like the reviews that you're doing in a structured approach? Would you have done that earlier if you had your time again?
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. I think from day one, you would look to say, well, what is that process? Taking that longer term approach of, okay, if I'm new to brokering or if I bought a book, it'd be day one, put the process in place, implement the process, follow the process. Because, for us as brokers to be on the phone, we want to be on the phone with new clients. We want the team, whether it's an internal team or an outsourced team, we
Mhm.
want them on the phone nurturing our existing clients, and staying front of mind for those whilst, as a broker, ultimately as far as I see it, we're hunters, so we need to be out there looking for new business. The review process is for the farmer. They're in the background, just nurturing.
Yeah, the old hunter-farmer scenario. And would you say that it's sort of by having your assistant Carla, who I spoke to last month, is involved with your customers, and then you've got our team, having that additional people dealing with your clients. Do you think that helps deepen the relationship with the business as a whole rather than just you personally?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without doubt. As I say, we've been outsourcing with yourself for a while now. It's been very consistent. We've got Guy there who looks after our clients on the annual review side, and our clients now, as they're coming up to second and third year reviews, they know who Guy is. They understand what he's there to assist with, and those relationships from that side um, are gaining momentum, which is great, and that creates a business that's not as much determined by myself being on the phone and having to hold that relationship wholeheartedly.
Yeah. And I guess at the end of the day, that's what you're trying to develop a relationship with your business rather than you as an individual. So you can go out and do what you need to do.
You're correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. I'm always interested to get feedback from your perspective as a broker. Also around today, I think it's invaluable information to share with, as you said, other brokers who are not sure what they should be doing around both parts of the business.
Yeah, look, it's. I think if people are ever unsure, they need to seek that advice from their peers and look outside where their expertise sit, and maybe look to those that are experts in their field, like yourselves, that can certainly streamline the business, streamline the process to become more efficient.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I think we might finish up today. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day because I know you're extremely busy as a broker. And so I really appreciate you making some time. Thank you very much uh, for jumping on and sharing that with us today. I hope you have a great weekend, and let's hope for both our sakes that the rest of the year for the Hawks is better than what it's been over the last month. So,
We can only hope.
all right. Thanks, Marcus.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate your time.
In this week's reviews wrap up, we look at outcomes from the week ending the 6th of June 2025. It was a bit of a slow news week, really, with no interest savings or new opportunities to report, as we didn't actually get to finalise any reviews this week. It was more of an admin week, tidying up reviews and CRM data, submitting pricing requests, arranging loan transfers between broker codes, and setting up a new review program for one of our brokers. We've received quite a few pricing responses from the lenders in the last couple of days, just not been able to make contact with the clients as yet to finalise the review. What we have noticed this week, however, is that since the latest RBA announcement, most of the lenders seem to be less willing to provide any rate reductions. Maybe they feel the need to hold on to more of that interest margin to maintain their profit levels, which gets harder as rates drop. Just a quick reminder that if you'd like to provide a review on the podcast, then you can jump onto podchaser.com, search for Your Broker Admin, and leave your review there, which would be greatly appreciated. You can also leave comments on any specific episode directly in Spotify. If you want to follow me personally, you can do so at linkedin.com. This is Rob Cummings with Your Broker Admin. Thank you for listening.